Howdy, I'm Brian Brushwood.
And I'm Jason Murphy.
We're here from the Modern Rogue.
And we're going to talk about pee. So pee, you know it, you love it, we all do.
Yeah, big pee fan. Pee-pee, urine, golden manna, whatever you want to call it. Love it.
Golden manna?
Yeah.
And you think that you like pee, as you've mentioned just a second ago.
I'm not a fan. I tend to flush it.
If it's yellow, let it mellow.
And if it's mellow yellow, chug it. So ancient people, they like to be clean, but the only way they could do it is to rub pee on their clothes.
Well, there is something to the science of that, in that we know
absolutely
that
is.
urine was one of the few sterile, guaranteed sterile liquids that you could find, I guess, full stop, outside of a fresh
Bladder.
spring or a river.
This is the ammonia. It's like actually a legitimate cleaning agent. And they would also gargle it for the same reason, clean their teeth off with all the pee. But the big problem in the ancient world is
This was the big problem with the ancient world. Not whether or not the sun would rise and how many children you had to sacrifice.
No,
It's a bunch of piss drinkers.
No, the big problem was, well, how do I get more pee? I don't have enough pee. And
Hello.
so,
Welcome to Ancient Everywhere. Look, life is pretty great. We have one big problem.
where to pee? So ancient laundromats were a thing. You could take your clothes, you would drop it off, somebody would soak it and piss and give it back to you.
Okay.
So what they did, laundromats were actually one of the first, and I believe these are ancient Roman laundromats or whatever the equivalent
You know what's
was.
funny is I thought that would help, knowing it was like a really long time ago, but it doesn't help much.
Yeah,
because now
no.
I'm just picturing like cleaner whites that are gonna look even worse because they went to a laundromat where they soaked them in pee.
Was certain types of pee better? Like, what if you had asparagus and then you tried to wash your clothes with that? Or what if you drink a lot of water and it's all clear instead of golden manna?
I
Hashtag
don't
golden
know.
man.
But to solve the issue of not having enough piss on hand, the first public restrooms were invented by laundromats that would just like put buckets out and be like, hey kid, you want to pee in here?
This sounds like some Wile E. Coyote stuff where it's just like a free place to pee arrow down.
Kind of. It was like, we need pee. You want clean clothes? We want to help each other out. You gotta pee. We like your pee. And speaking of ancient Rome, less about piss. There was a time where Caesar, and we're just talking about history. It's wacky. History is weird. So Caesar's in a debate. They had found some people conspiring against the Republic, and Cato the Younger, I believe, was debating against him. And Cato says, well, we've uncovered their plot. We should kill them. And Caesar says, I think killing's too good. We should torture them or whatever. These are the debates they had in ancient times, which is like...
I'm still busy thinking of all of them going to pee laundromats, but yes.
Yeah. Everybody reeked of pee, and one guy in the back is like, why are we talking about this?
Who cares? Let it all burn. It'll smell better.
This place sucks.
The one time traveling guy's like, I thought this would be more fun. So they're arguing, and Caesar has a letter delivered to him, and Cato was like, that's from the conspiracists anyway. That's from the enemies. You have to read that out loud to prove your crime.
Oh, I've seen enough sitcoms to know where this goes.
And Caesar's like, why don't you do it? And so he takes it and he's like, ha ha! And he realizes it's a love letter from Cato's sister to Caesar as a mistress.
Oh, damn.
Being like, oh, you big old Roman boy, I love your loins and such.
And such. She's like lazily dictating, like, I don't know, he's nice enough. I just want to jump on that hog.
Yeah.
Your loins are great and stuff.
Oh, Caesar,
put some
your
Roman
wiener is
numerals.
great.
Estimate his hog size in X's and V's.
And so Cato gets very upset and tosses the letter, and Caesar, does one of his
Caesar. He goes, Caesar, ouch!
The sad thing for Caesar is that he lost the debate.
That's the sad thing.
But the more sad thing is that mistress births Brutus.
Oh!
What happened to him?
Well, he
eventually fought Popeye. Thank you. I'm glad.
Yep,
Same
right there.
mind.
I
Same
have
mind.
no idea what that
Right.
Really?
The spinach guy.
Brutus and
The spinach guy? What is happening?
The chain of restaurants?
Oh,
chicken
God. God.
Do you not know about Popeye the Sailor
You
Man?
probably don't even know who
doesn't he eat
Bluto is.
spinach?
He does eat spinach, but nobody calls him the spinach guy.
He's the spinach guy, dude. With the spinach. and-
Starting now.
Darwin, as you know, goes to the Galapagos. Maybe you don't know. He went to the Galapagos, and he used this to eventually start all of his theories on evolution. But when he got there,
Hold on. The way you wrote that is like, I need to go to the Galapagos. I'll use this to start my theories.
I don't actually know.
Evolution.
I don't even know how he got there. That's not the important thing. We have sillier things to discuss.
Okay, go on.
For some reason, Darwin's there, and I don't remember if he had his ideas that then went there or if his ideas came after, but he's here. He's
This is all covered in the documentary Master and Commander.
Yes, Russell Crowe's there.
Yes.
He's mastering.
And commandering.
It's Darwin realizes pretty quickly that none of these animals have ever seen a human, and so they're not afraid of them. One of the first things that he does is he walks up to a turtle and climbs on it and smacks it, and to his delight, it trundles along with him riding it like a glorious turtle king. And he writes this down. He's like, everybody's gonna love this fact. And then he was picking up iguanas and throwing them. He was trying to swat birds out of the air. He was just like that asshole kid at this petting zoo or whatever, who's like smacking goats and just like rambunctious little man he was.
He would have gotten Harambe killed immediately.
Or taught him how to do like a really complicated high five.
And there's probably more to that story, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, another thing that I learned about Darwin was that he found these turtles, and on the voyage back, they had stocked up these turtles and they were taking them back to wherever the hell Darwin was from, but they ended up eating them all.
Well, well, specifically, what they would do is they would stack them on their backs, belly to back, all the way up, because they didn't have refrigeration. And so this was a way that they would like get one that was about to die, or like, all right, knock that one, knock its head, have delicious turtle soup. And they enjoyed it so much that there were no turtles that made it back to England.
So they were just like looking at the turtles like, I think that one's about to die.
Yep.
Wait, let's just eat it.
It sounds like you're trying to exaggerate, but that's exactly what happened.
That's what
And
I do.
eventually they did die. I mean, they weren't wrong. It was a correct diagnosis.
That's what I do. When I get hungry, I go to the bingo parlor. They're about to die. I'm gonna eat them.
I try and bring a whole van load of old women, and as they die, I eat them along the way. I think we just wrote a script. You want to write that up?
It's
I'm on it.
shockingly close to an actual Stephen King short story.
You know, speaking of old people, John Quincy Adams,
Yeah, he's
Dead.
old.
if he was alive, he'd be old. But he's not.
Facts.
He probably died at an old age too. And a woman's husband died.
That happens.
Around that same time.
Just the vividness of the story.
I really feel like a storyteller.
No, I'm loving this.
I would be an oral tradition guy. I'd be passing the stories down through time. This is one of those stories I would pass. This woman, who is a journalist, her husband dies. He was in the military. He was in the Revolutionary War, I assume. She thought that she deserved to have some of his pension because he died relatively young, but his military pension was not going to her. She wanted to ask John Quincy Adams, you know, why? I want it, please. And he kept rebuffing her. He was ignoring her calls, letters, paper
Yes.
airplanes. So she found out
kept
that
hiring singing town criers.
hear ye, and
Hear ye, I want that booty. Get on with me, I'm John Quincy Adams.
is that from the HBO series? And she discovered, and this is very much true, John Quincy Adams loved to just get in the Potomac, butt-ass naked, and bathe.
Yeah.
As one does.
When I do it, it's a problem.
She apparently, this is sort of apocryphal, they're not 100% sure if it's correct or not, but the prevailing understanding is that she went, followed him, watched him get in the water.
Stalked him.
Yeah, grabbed his clothes and said, you're gonna listen to me, or you're gonna sit in there naked forever, or you're gonna have to flash me your presidential
Junk, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, your clothes smell like urine.
And
I know
loving it.
you are very afraid. It's not like men have all the power and this will have no consequences. It's gonna be a big deal
And I'm
when
the
I see you naked.
But for some reason, he decided decorum was necessary, and so he gave the interview, and she got her pension. She succeeded. She became a journalist. kind of in
Like
later in
pulling
life.
a camp prank?
I'm almost certain I have most of these details right, but within the last decade, there was a very old woman who passed away, who her pension ended because her husband was a military serviceman who fought for the Confederacy.
What?
In the 1800s. Dude was very old, married somebody very, very young. I think it was maybe their daughter or something, or father or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, like 20 minutes ago, that ended.
That's feels impossible, but I guess it's not.
What if you consider the fact that I have all the facts wrong? Then
I am
it
considering that.
becomes possible.
Well, you know, if you're like 20 in 1865 and you got married 50 years later.
You don't get to call me out on fact checking.
It's like that show that Jonathan Frakes, that Riker hosted, where he's like, he tells you these stories and he's like, guess what? Like 3 of those weren't even real. I remember watching that going, what the Riker?
That's this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I think P is real.
Brian just says a bunch of stuff and like every now and then he's telling the truth.
Somebody in the comments will know what I'm talking about.
They will absolutely correct you. And once again, I have nowhere to go.
I knew it. I was like, oh, let's see how he does this one. You did not disappoint.
Speaking of the ending of human lives, this is the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Tune in to Jordan's show, all about urine, available in podcasts everywhere.
On HBO. So, where can we find you guys?
In your bedroom.
Covered in piss and smelling great.
Well, okay. You know what? I rescind my offer. I'll be at themodernrogue.com.
Fair.
Will
I'd
you
like
be
to
there
hear
as
more.
Or I'll be at youtube.com/modernrogue.
Excellent, and I'll be here as always.
Okay, fine. I'll come.
No, you should leave.
I probably should. I am in your warehouse.
That is the look of
Smelling like
ambition.
piss.
I don't know what I just saw. It was like what Cato was experiencing reading that letter.
And that's where we'll cut.
Cut. Cutting.